Hello, everybody. I'm on the microphone now. Hello, everybody. Welcome. How we doing? How we doing? It's Wednesday. We're here. We're existing. I ordered food, so at some point I'm gonna get up from my chair. I'm gonna show up, be like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" and then be like, "All right, bye," and go get food. Just waiting for that. Not for another short bit though. I was recording a whole bunch of shit before stream, so I was getting a lot done. It was a mix of recording and doing other stuff, but recording in meetings, and I'm now out of recording hell for a little bit at least. We have a YouTube video for the main channel. We're gonna start posting on the main channel again. Woo! Because I abandoned it for a little bit on purpose. On purpose. The song is called Bonsoir. Bonsoir by Moe Shop. Bonsoir. But we're gonna start posting on the main channel again. I'm gonna post it tomorrow. I don't. So I specifically, I'll talk about this in the video a little bit, but I avoided posting on the channel for a little bit because, like, over the summer, you know, hashtag big drama, and my last video was me talking about leaving VShojo, which was, like, you know, the most dramatic thing for months that, like, anyone in this community was talking about. So I really didn't want to, like, start posting videos again right after that and have it just be filled with people, like, you know, bringing that up, talking about that, wanting to know more about it, because I didn't want to focus on it. Like, I talked enough about it on stream to clarify stuff, but I wasn't trying to have new conversations about it, right? I was only, like, if something new happens or I'm clarifying, I'll talk about it, but outside of that, I'm good. So I feel like at this point, like, that's done. You know, occasionally something comes up, but, like, it's not, you know, the thing that people are all posting about. They feel like it's in the past, right? So I, like, let the channel lie dormant until I felt like I saw in my own circles, like, people shutting up about it, really, you know? And we have, so I'm gonna start posting again. It also really didn't help that, like, that was my last video, was me saying I left VShojo, right? And then as other people left, like, a month later and beyond, they also posted videos in the exact same format. So whatever I posted became, like, that blueprint for how others posted. So it kind of extended the lifespan of, like, people going back to my video and back to my channel and still saying stuff, you know what I mean? So I was like, let me put this on ice for a bit. Rain! Hi, Rain! Hope you're well. Miss you. We gotta find shit to do. Rain, I'll update you when my thing is ready. I know I told you guys in the server about a thing that I'm working on, but hopefully soon. But anyway, yeah, so a lot of my content too was very, like, centered around the group. It was content that I was going to do whether it was the group or not, but the people that I chose to put in stuff was, you know, once I got into the group, I was like, okay, I'll just use members of my org, right? And that'll be fun. So when you look through, like, a lot of the most popular content and the more recent stuff, it's like all that. So I was like, I want to let this channel just sit for a little bit. We'll focus on clips and building up people watching me for me over there and not for that stuff, right? And then kind of return once it's, like, died down a bit. So I just let it, you know, live. And I think we're at that point. So yeah, we're gonna post something tomorrow, and it's just gonna be an update video. And then after that, I have a bunch of stuff lined up. So please give love to the YouTube, because I know when you let things lie dormant, YouTube is like, oh, they died. But I'll let you know. We're not going to do a premiere for it. I've done some premieres and things like that. I'm just going to post it. And, yeah. So that's happening. That's happening tomorrow. Yeah, the last thing I posted before that was the Nova video, and then me talking to Amma, and then before that, Cancer, and then before that, talking to Michi. You know, and then, like, one normal video, and then me talking to Mouse, and then another one of me talking to Mouse, and then me talking to Mel, and then me talking to Kura. You know what I mean? It was just, like, like a year's worth of almost exclusively talking to members, because I really wanted it to be, like, focused up. Because I was trying to help our SEO. If I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was trying to pump up our SEO a little bit, and I was like, we should all post videos like this. I'll take the format I was already gonna do, and I'll just do it with you guys specifically. But Yeah. So, SEO. So now I'm freed and I'm gonna post a lot of like other shit on here too. So excited for that. Excited for that. What else? Do I have any other news? I don't think I have any me news outside of that for right now. It's all stuff that I've said before. So recap, the thing on the screen. Ooh, what is that? Who's that? That's coming up soon. No, it's not there yet. Blazing's gonna be posted tomorrow. The thing on the screen is gonna be soon, and it might be one of my most favorite things ever. Whoa. So we're waiting on that. I also have, I'm doing my final checks to get the stuff up on Horizons merch. So we have, if you do the merch link, we have the regular Horizons merch store there, which is just all the merch I've done with them in the past that we still have a little bit of. Some stuff is sold out. Some stuff that was sold out, we took off the store entirely. Like, you can't even see it. So we've just left up stuff that, you know, is still available. So those are all good, but we're going to add in the hall mat stuff. So, because we did the booth and we had hall mat merch that was exclusive to the event. It sold pretty well. I was glad. I was pretty good at predicting how many units of each thing I should order in, and we got pretty close to selling that many. So we don't have a ton of certain items. Some we have more because it's easier to like print a lot of certain things, but other items I did not order a lot of. So some of the stuff that goes up, I'm going to give you a day and time when I know exactly when we're putting the store up, because there will be some items that we might literally just have 10 of, you know. So I'll give you guys a heads up. It'll be first come, first serve, and that'll be that. If there's huge demand for one or two of those things to be reprinted, we can maybe do that, but I have other stuff on the store, so I'm not trying to, like, you know, have a whole bunch of leftover stuff. But yeah, so I'll give you a heads up when it's time. What else? What else? Let me look. I have a list somewhere. Oh, I got signed out of a thing. I don't want to sign in. Whatever. Anyway. Anyway, yeah, hall mat stuff, and then I think if anything I might reprint the Boris shirt if that does sell out. If it doesn't, that's fine. But yeah, if that shirt gets scooped up a little quick, I'll probably make more of those, because that was something people really wanted. We had a shirt that looked like a Boris Pokemon card. That people loved. I kind of wanted to do one of me, like one of Boris and one of me. Maybe faction ones. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But for now, yeah, that'll be up there at some point soon, and I'll give you a heads up beforehand, hopefully. We're restocking Schmelin. I'll give you an update when I know about that. And then, oh, they gave me the Chainsaw Man collab update thing. For Cheeky. Hold on. Because remember, they were going to do it one day, and then there was something with the box that they wanted to fix, so they were like, hold on, we're going to wait and redo this. Yeah, it's Friday. It's this Friday for sure. They said it's on the 23rd. They've got, like, several thousand of boxes to sell that they're going to have for sale, but they have, like, triple that number of people on the email list for it. So when they restock because I know some of you said you wanted the Chainsaw Man box, but you were disappointed because it sold out. If you wanted that shit's going to sell out within the first hour, maybe 30 minutes even. I don't know. It'll be really quick. Because again, they have like triple the number of people on the mail list than units that they actually like are going to have to sell. So if you want that, you can go to the site and you can like click the button to be on the email list for it, so you get updated. I don't know exactly what time. Oh no, they did say I can let you know this, and they gave me the time. You can let them know it'll be live at 1 p.m. EST. Okay, So if you want to do the Cheeky link, use cheeky.com/chainsawman, and you can go there and like put yourself on the email list. It's going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern on Friday, this Friday. So I'm just please don't scalp them. I'll fucking kill you if you scalp this shit. Buy it if you want it. But there you go. You can sign up for the email list if you want that. But yeah, just be aware, and then they have another major collab thing coming up too that I'm excited for. It'll be smaller, it won't be like a huge box, but it'll be something cool. And then yeah, and we're restocking Schmelin as well, so that's the Cheeky update. Excited for that. Very excited for that. And then I feel like there was something else. I'm trying to remember. I feel like there was something else. Fuck, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna grab my food that is at my door. I'm gonna grab my food. In the meantime, type in the chat. What's up? What's in the news? Non-political. What's in the news right now? In VTubing world, in streaming world, in real world, whatever. What do we got? And I'll be right back. Okay.
Attention all creature, only 2 XL creature polos left. I repeat, only 2 XL creature polos left.
Sorry, I lied. It's not here yet. Thought it was. Yeah, for a few before it gets here. It was at the other spot first. I'm so ready to eat though. So ready to eat, man. Okay, I'm scrolling up. Let's see. My window. Okay, got my cheeky order today. That's news. Ooh, what'd you get? Ubisoft is imploding. Oh yeah, I saw. I don't know what the news is though. Hold on, let me see. Ubisoft. What's happening to them? I saw them cancel the Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake. That is the first thing I saw, and I was like, what the fuck? No, because I care about that one specifically. Yeah, they delayed. Okay, so I'm seeing a Ubisoft cancels that and 5 other projects. Another one says they delayed 7 other titles, and then another thing says unveils details of big restructuring bet. Ooh, okay. They want me to listen to the article. Fuck you. I will only read. Okay, closes 2 studios, confirms further layoffs and major company restructure. Oh, they were going to do a Black Flag remake too. That's right. Okay, they're saying of the half-dozen games that have been fully scrapped, they're only publicly naming one today, which was the Sands of Time remake. 3 of the canceled games were new IPs. 1 was a mobile game. Their core focus going forward, according to them, is going to be on open world games and live services. Okay. There was an unannounced game set for launch before March 31st that was suspected to be the Black Flag remaster, and instead it's going to be the next financial year. So that's what people are thinking.
Who wants more Rainbow Six Siege? The Siegening faction redeems chat.
I don't know if I want more Rainbow Six. Ubisoft Stockholm will fully close alongside mobile studio Ubisoft Halifax. They restructured in Abu Dhabi. Trial Studio Red Links, which is the one that did The Division. We went through a thorough review, this is according to them, of projects across December and January with the current market evolution in mind, which is consistently more selective. The last quarter showed never before seen level of competition. Competition and selection is here to stay. Yeah, you know, I'm going to be honest with you guys. The resurgence, or the, not even resurgence, the big surge of indie games, I always say this is a good thing because now there's more competition. Now there's more competition. And one of the sad parts of this, though, is that a lot of big studios are going to close or going to downsize. AAA, certain things are going to get killed off. The weakest ones, right? This is the culling. Everyone hated Ubisoft to begin with. I don't know a single person who was like, yo, that's my fucking goat. They liked the games, but they didn't like the overall company, right? Or they liked the individual smaller studios. They didn't like Ubisoft, right? So I know most people weren't really gonna mourn this if this happened, right? And that's what's gonna happen is the weakest companies are gonna do this first. So Ubisoft doing this is very fully expected, honestly. Yeah, it's saying it looks like they're gonna lose like not quite a quarter of their revenue from last year, but it was like down by 330 million when it was normally like or it's going to be 1.5 billion of their bookings, normally be up 330 million from that, which is huge. That's so much money. And yes, you can't support the number of studios and employees you have, blah, blah, blah. Then again, I don't know where their money goes. So maybe they actually could, but is that worth that? Probably not. Better downsize. But Ubisoft, from what I know, is doing a bunch of fuck-ass stuff outside of their major everything. You know, like they were just doing a bunch of shit that everyone's like, what even is this, right? It's a shell of old Ubisoft, so I'm not surprised. But Tencent bought them. Did they buy, or was it... Hold on. Let me see what the wording is. Ubisoft Tencent. While I wait for my food here, which is almost here. They made a strategic investment in their new Vantage Studios under Ubisoft. So not in Ubisoft itself. It was on Vantage Studios, which is under Ubisoft. Separate entity, and it has Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six. They gave it a 1.16 billion to get a minority stake, which is about 26%. That's still a lot. To just boost their finances and boost Vantage's growth. It's an IP carve out. Okay. Yeah, this is good because, right, they can grab up like these AAA IPs from Ubisoft without acquiring all of Ubisoft, which has a lot of shit that they probably don't care about. That makes sense to me. I think if you're in Tencent's seat, if you are Tencent, this is a really good move. This is a really good move for them. It makes sense. It's beginning to seem like Tencent bought them just to butcher them. What do you think? First of all, they didn't buy them. They didn't buy them. They have a minority stake in Vantage Studios, in one studio under Ubisoft. All right, let's make sure we get our terminology like totally clear there. That's number one. But number two, yes, this is how every acquisition goes typically. You buy up something and you look over what they're doing and then you tell them, cut this, cut that, and then we're going to redo. That is how like every acquisition goes, and this isn't even an acquisition. Major investments where you have a big stake. If you get a seat at the table and now you're able to sit there and talk, you know, and advise and all that in exchange for your investment, then yeah, you start slashing stuff. This happened when Musk bought Twitter, right? He buys Twitter. Everyone's like, oh, is he going to save it or kill it, whatever. And he ends up slashing like a bajillion more billion people. I don't like what he's doing with the platform now, and I wouldn't say him. I don't like what they're doing in general with the platform. I don't know who is making each exact decision with like, you know, some current things. But I actually did, hot take, I actually did agree with them cutting a lot of employees. Maybe not in some of the areas that they did, but overall count going down, I actually did agree, because I felt it was incredibly bloated, and they would have like a more billion employees and we would get fucking nothing. So clearly it was an operational issue. It wasn't like throwing more people at it was going to fix the stuff, you know? Yeah, tech bloat is very real. That being said, you know, the way they, certain things that they slashed, I was like, okay, we didn't need that, blah, blah, blah. So nuance-wise, I wasn't all down with it. But the overall idea, when a company comes in or a person comes in and buys up something or has a stake in something now and then they start slashing, that's very normal. And it's often done because the intent is to cut out what is dysfunctional and then redo. The company still owns all these IPs, so even if they slash these games, whatever, they can still do stuff with them in the future. And seeing as how those are the cash cows for Ubisoft, good chance they might, you know? That's my thought there. And yeah, people will be like, ooh, Tencent evil. Like, that's not the discussion here. Like, that's a whole separate thing. You know, I have my own thoughts on that, but just in general, like, they put stuff out and they do put their money where their mouth is typically when it comes to like, we're going to fund this and get this game out the door, you know, which is like not what Ubisoft was always doing. That's what people were upset about. So that silver lining, right? I think that maybe that will get more shit out the door from Vantage Studios. Or so we hope. You know, we'll see. Anyway, okay, now my food's here. Now my food's here, and then I'll look through the news. Hold on, I'm screenshotting the stuff that you said. Okay, give me more news. We'll get to it when I get back. Hold on. Let me grab my food. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I got up the first time because I thought my food was here. And it was not. Okay. Let me see what we got. I've decided I'd rather, if I'm going to intake, like, what's new, I'd rather do it with chat and learn about it in real time. So people can give context and I can research if their context is true or not, whatever, in real time. Because I just can't scroll Twitter anymore. Like, I don't mind seeing headlines and stuff here and there, but, like, some of the shit, I don't wanna. And then we can also check ourselves in real time and be like, fuck that topic, you know? We can do a collective, like, I don't care about that one, you know, and throw shit away easily. Resist the temptations of reading about stuff that we don't care about. Figure be healthy. A nice healthy way to take in this stuff. Also, because every time you guys ask me what I think about blank thing, I like haven't read into it anyway, so you know, because again, I just can't do with the fucking scrolling anymore. Anyway, my TLDR and the Ubisoft stuff, because we were just talking about it. Sad to hear, but also not sad because what the fuck were they doing anyway? And it looks like the studios that they have like axed so far are the ones that mostly were handling stuff that people didn't care about. You said you should do a collab with a news or / drama VTuber for that. I'd rather throw up, dude. No. I should not do that. Number one. Number two, fuck 80% of them, 90% of them, honestly. Like, they might be normal people outside of their content. That's whatever. Like, that's beside the point. But, like, for the most part, they only make things worse. That's all. They only make things worse. There's some people that actually just report news, or they do a mix, and, like, it's nice when they do the just news part. But, what they functionally do is bring up these audiences that make everything worse. That's it. That's literally it. You know? Again, if they do just news, and they're just having conversations, totally fine. But a lot of them fall, even if they start that way, they fall into, like, getting into topics that I'm like, why the fuck are you even here? You know, like, I'd rather avoid that stuff. And some people do a good mix in that, like, sometimes I'll see a segment that they did where they're just talking about a thing, and it's like, fine, it's just news, right? But they always then also do the other stuff that I want to avoid, so they end up building up that pocket of the audience that grows and gets really loud. So yeah, they can do their normal segments and people can be normal about it, but then people will be clamoring in their audiences for these other segments to talk about drama or talk about like political stuff or all the stuff that I want to avoid, you know? So I'd rather steer clear, even if I think the person themselves might be all right. Content-wise, I'd rather steer clear. Some of them are fine on the back end. They just, you know, they make choices I wouldn't make, right? So I'd no thanks. No thanks. There's also some people that have just really changed. Like, they started out just talking about news, and then a year later they're saying crazy shit, and I'm like, I used to follow this person, or sometimes I still do. I'm like, what are they doing? Like, I see a clip of them, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know. It's just it's a dark path, right? It's a dark path that I think often is paved with good intentions, but sometimes just ends up in a crazy spot. So, no thanks, no thanks. And I'm a very nip it in the bud kind of person. There are plenty of people that I think are all right, but do things that I don't like, and I will just completely ghost. It's not like I don't see the good parts. It's just I don't want to deal with the rest of it. No, thank you. That's all. Right? Nip it the bud. Anyway. It's in drama when he starts talking about like the Green Goblin mask. It's so true, man. It does make good money. So there's a part of me that absolutely understands it. When you're not a big creator and you've finally found one thing that makes you money, and you're just like, well, I want to pay my bills and make content. Fucking go for it, dude. But now I'm not going to collab with you if it's like, you know, the kind of stuff I'm trying to avoid. That's all. I think it's a super fair assessment. That's just all it is. But at that point, they don't need to collab with people, right? If they're doing that kind of content. It shouldn't matter to them. Anyway. Ubisoft TLDR. On top of what I said before. I'm excited to see more of this happen. Every time it goes in the news, people will start getting fearful and freaking out and being like, oh my god, layoffs in the gaming industry, layoffs in the gaming industry. But what I hope for is that all of these studios that are up and coming, or all these devs that are up and coming because their indie projects are doing well, which is part of what's killing AAA, you know, not killing it like to a crazy degree, but like chipping away at it, they might have openings. And they might love to take someone who's worked in this big AAA environment and bring what they know into their smaller project. So I'm hoping that things kind of even out like that. We'll see if it actually does. I mean, you don't know until time progresses, but that's what I'm hoping for. But yeah. Okay, what else did you guys say in the chat? Other news topic. Microsoft begging people to use their AI. I saw a really funny like headline that posted like begging, right? Where they're like, oh, the head guy was like, please, you have to use Copilot AI or it's gonna die. They were talking about like AI in general or something, because things are starting to like, you know, there's a lot of like, again, I don't know how much of it is fear mongering versus how much of it is like actually gonna happen, because it's all predictive news, right? But I'm seeing a lot about like AI just not doing so well. OpenAI being the big one, right? You don't say slop, etc., etc. I don't know. I look at it and I'm like, bro, I don't know. Let me ask you guys, because I'm on 10. I'm on Windows 10 and not using Copilot at all. What is Copilot? What are they trying to get you to do with it? What are they actually trying to get you to use Copilot for, genuinely? A lot of people saying IDK, ChatGPT for business, but it's just not good. Shammed into everything. Is it one of those things? Yeah, I was gonna say, is it like Clippy? Is it one of those things where every time you use anything on Windows, it just shows up in the corner and is like, ask me instead of clicking buttons yourself? Is that what it is? Copilot's Claude with Microsoft colors. Okay. One person said, nah, not that invasive. Okay, maybe not everything, right? They renamed Office to Copilot, so I guess Copilot's also Office. Yeah, it seems like it's an encompassing term. You have to ask it to help you, but yes. Okay. Okay. They put it in Notepad. Now that pisses me off, because I love Notepad. I love Notepad. Yikes. They're about to get me to start handwriting stuff again, dude. They put it in Paint. Okay. Okay. So what this sounds like to me is they made their own. And they were like, let's see if we can have it in a meta way, just help you with like everything across the board, across the suite, which is a cool idea if people wanted that, right? And then they did it, and it's not that good, but it's like early enough, so they said, fuck it, send it, because they like to send their MVP every time, even if it's not like anywhere in a good state. Because, I don't know, companies that do things related to AI seem to like to full send stuff when it's like nowhere near ready, just to get it trained up. So it sounds like they did that, and now people are pissed. And they're like, no, it's good though. Right? Was that correct? I don't know, man. Yeah. Stupid. It's not help, it's destruction of your own ability to think, create, and learn. Here's what I think. I think a lot of the stuff that people are throwing AI into, I don't know why we're using AI instead of just having better UX, instead of redesigning our products. Well, I do know why, but that's the question. Why are we using this? And I think it's because here's what I think. And this is not to get conspiracy about it. This is just like what I see. VCs with huge amounts of money are always trying to figure out, what can I convince another company to do to make money, and I pay them for, because I don't do the work myself. I'm just a VC. I just pay someone to make a thing and then reap some of the benefit, right? So what they do is they look for something that's up and coming that people don't always understand well enough, but they know they can sell them on. And that company can then sell people on and use it to make money, whatever. And they just try to get that going. So I think it can come from multiple sources, but I think that world is just filled with people standing in boardrooms that go, we got to use AI. We got to make a product. Pay me $5 million to make the product. And then it's all these people lining their pockets, you know? Yeah, it's the same as Bitcoin. Exactly. It's the same as like crypto and all of that. And the same reason people got mad at that, where, yeah, snake oil circle. You just sit there in a room and convince people to give you money to make a thing. So you get paid. You get these VCs to also look around. They're like, oh, this is the new hotness. So they start trying to get everyone to do it. And it's just everyone at the upper level all telling each other, you got to do this, because they see money in it. And then over time, they realize, uh-oh, I'm paying, but I'm not really getting much back. And that's when it collapses, which is what we're starting to see. Maybe it'll full collapse, maybe it won't. You know, like that's all. We don't know, but at least there's like one major company, right? That's a huge name going like, oh shit. Right?
Using the electrical consumption of NYC to create anime boobies in Microsoft Paint is the future I fully expected, and here we are.
Yes. 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 I need it. I want it. Thank you, Copilot. No, but that's the thing that I think is happening here. It's very, like, just to water it down. Obviously, there's a lot of nuance I'm leaving out, but to keep it simple, like, all these people up at the top are convincing each other to throw money at each other so they can all make more money by using AI as their buzzword or thing, and then they're forcing everyone, you know, levels below them to work on this stuff because they're like, we will pay you. And what does the common man want? A job and to be paid, right? It just wants to make money to live. So people are like, okay, I guess. And they're like, if this is what I'm being paid for, then I'm going to make it, I guess. And they do that. There you go. And then they insert it into every product. And by inserting it into every product, you can be like, oh, my social media platform with 8 more billion users has this AI thing that makes it good because the number of users using it is so high. And then they use that to get even more money, even though most people are like not even using it. They're like, get this shit away from me, you know? And there you go. And it's just a cycle. But eventually the money runs out. So we'll see. I do think, however, the average person doesn't really care about this conversation that much. Like the average non-internet user, person who's not like very on the internet, doesn't actually hate AI that much usually. They just kind of don't understand it and they don't really care about the conversation, is what I've noticed. I think if you spend a lot of time online, the conversation is completely different. And I find that people talking to each other online about it are like, oh, it's finally happening. They're all celebrating. They're like, it's over. But I'm like, well, normal people that are not, you know, super online, I think they, like the common man, they don't care about this conversation. They don't know much about it. And they're just like, oh, it's a thing. It's just something that's been put in front of them. They're like, oh, whatever. If you show someone who's, again, not very on the internet, you show them a weird video, and it's clearly AI because it's like one of those ones where like a cat is speaking English, right? And they'll look at it and they'll be like, oh my God, is that editing? You'd be like, oh, AI made this. And they'll be like, oh, okay. Well, it's fake though. And they don't care. They're just like, I don't care how this was made. It's just, I know it's fake now. So, okay. And that's it. And they there's no like further conversation about it. So that's why I think, I don't know how quickly and this stuff will actually like collapse if it does, because I think so many people just don't care. I think it's a very, if you're very online thing that, you know, you have more to say and you know more about the situation, you understand more of the ups and downs, right? Yeah, it's very much a bubble. It is a large bubble. But I think it's a bubble with a huge degree of separation from the people that aren't in it. You know what I mean? So, we'll see what happens. I think if you are like on Twitch a lot, on YouTube a lot, and you sit there and you really have these like discussions about content and the meta of it, I think you care a lot more about this stuff and you see a lot more of what's going on. But, you know, while the average person is just, they just don't know. Right? And if they're not that online, they're not as affected. Some of them might still be, but overall their life isn't as affected. Only certain things in their life are, you know? So it's very interesting, very interesting. Each time you try to inform your dad about a topic, he agrees and then forgets it the next day. That's the hard part too. Yeah. It's different for us if we're very online because we get, you know, this news shoveled at us constantly to an alarming degree even. But, yeah. But yeah, I think that's what I was going to say. Cool Cat brought this up. You said they do kind of hate it when it makes the thing they're using shitty. Yeah, I think when people see the enshittification in front of them and then they're like, what's this about? And you go, oh, it's because blah, blah, blah. Then they'll listen because people don't listen or care until it's on their doorstep. You know? People really don't get perceived by others, especially as truly caring until a thing is on their doorstep and they do something about it. Saying stuff about it doesn't matter. It's actually doing something about it. So they're not going to do something about it until it negatively affects them and enough to a degree where they're like, now I'm not going to use this thing, or I'm not going to buy this phone because it has this AI assistant that I don't want, or, you know, like the money has to move. The money has to move for something to happen. So I think we're still a ways to go before, like, you know, everything crashes or something. Well, we'll see. But also keep in mind, like, the average person can't tell how much of the internet is bots versus people. On a lot of platforms, they think everything's like a real person that they're talking to. So, you know, if they can't even tell that, then we're like 10 steps ahead, you know? Got a ways to go. Yeah, that's true, Break. That's true, Break. They're like recursive on themselves now. Like when you have AI generate a thing, and then that same AI reads that thing to train itself further. You know what I mean? Like it just gets kind of. That's when I feel like it gets extra like sloppy. You know, slop -e, sloppish. Yeah, monocollapse. So, you know, something dead internet, whatever. Okay, what else is in the news? Next. First goalie fight in hockey in 6 years. Goalie fight. Are the videos good? I should watch that later. Are the videos good? I love sports where they're allowed to fight. I like watching a lot of rugby and stuff. I'm not going to say it's good, but I like watching stuff like that. It was a banger fight. Okay, I'm putting this in my watch later. First goalie fight in 6 years. Sergei Bobrovsky fights Alex Nedeljkovic. How the fuck do you say his name? Nedeljkovic. Net. Like the middle of that is so. When you get to the LJ, like what? Nedeljkovic. It could be E for the J. Nedeljkovic, maybe. Okay, well, Bobrovsky and Ned duked it out. I'm gonna watch this later. I'm gonna cue it up. Beautiful. Mashtarakan, help me. Mashtarakan. Finally saw some decent snow in New York City. Yeah, oh, let's do weather segment. Wait, can I put the weather behind me? Let me get a screenshot of the weather. Weather segment. Yeah, coldest air of the season moving into parts of the south. How many of you, I mean, don't dox yourself, but how many of you are like south and actually are going to get snow for the first time in like forever? Texas is in a state of emergency for Friday. See, like this is a big snowstorm, so it's going to be serious, but I'm also so used to snow from many years ago and everything that like state of emergency sounds crazy to me. But the cold, it's going to be so chilling. So I get it. Let's see. Let's type in snowstorm. I want to get a nice big image. Do they have a name for it? I don't think they have a name for it. I just want a nice, I want a nice radar. Wait, I know where I can get a good one. Southeast, but I always doubt there will be snow. Maybe. It looks like the jet stream's like kind of dipping down very far. Like it's moving very far south, which has been sort of a thing that's been happening over the years where like overall there's been less snow, but the jet stream has been like rubber banding down like a lot differently than it used to. Just more and more. So it's like, you know, I think you might still get something. You might still get something. Dude. Ooh. Winter Storm Fern. Oh, they did give her a name. Okay. Winter Storm Fern. Okay, yeah. She's got a real name. Holy. Want to get the chart up. Uroids, this doesn't matter to you. Fern is a cute name for it. Ooh. Look at that. Look at that. Now, for a note, that purple that's hitting New York is going to be like up to a foot of snow, is what they're saying. And yeah, it's going to dump so much in the mountains there down in Virginia and Maryland. West Virginia is going to get dumped on. Absolutely dumped on if you're in Virginia. Holy. You live right in the purple? The darker purple? Yeah, I think, I always love how, like, it doesn't go too far north, but, like, New York City always gets it. Because of the way storms hit the coast and then get pushed upward. So on, like, the East Coast, the Northeast always gets that stuff coming up toward it. It never just goes out into the water and dies. It always hits the coast, and then the coastal winds push it up. So, like, New York City will always get the worst of it. We're gonna get a lot of snow, man. I love snow. I just don't want to lose power, obviously, which will probably happen. I don't want to lose power, but I want to experience getting snowed in. We haven't had a really good one in a long while. So for me, I'm like, yes. But also no, because I don't know about power. It's supposed to be happening on Sunday, so I don't know about stream Sunday too, because if it's like crazy, power could go out. But not just that. Even more than that, I want to just be like available. Right? I just want to be available and around so that if something happens, like I can do shit. So I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm gonna do the full prep as if everything's gonna die. So I'm gonna like plug a bathtub and fill it with water and you know what I mean? I'm gonna do all the prep and hope I don't need it. Guy like me likes to frolic when it snows. Yeah, I'm one of those. I'm one of those, the parks all get filled with people like sledding and stuff. It's nice. It's nice. Yeah, losing water stinks so bad. Yeah, I think losing water is the hardest part. Losing power sucks. I think when things get cold enough that pipes have an issue, you know, that could be a problem. Anyway, everyone go figure out where your water main is, your water main shut off. Like just go figure this out well before this happens if you don't already know. And go shut it off and turn it back on once. Make sure you can move the thing. And if your power goes out and it's out for a bit and things are getting cold, shut that water main off and open like all of your faucets to let them drain out so your pipes don't freeze and burst. Okay? That's like the most basic thing you should do. Most basic thing. I think a lot of you, if you're like homeowners or live in an old place, you probably know, but just be aware. Be aware. Okay. If you're in the UK, make sure you have the special water main tool. I don't think anyone in the UK is on this map here, so, you know. Joel, that's not the case because then you wouldn't have water. You live in a brownstone, already drain your outdoor pipe for the hose. Main is indoors, you're good. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. If you have an outdoor space, it's a separate thing. What do you mean yours is a separate thing? Your water main? Whatever you say, Joel. Do you have separate zones? I know some people have a separate shutoff for their outdoor and all that. If that's what you mean. But that's not the most common. You have to, like, ask for that. You know what I mean? Turn one off every winter. It's probably an outdoor one that goes to, your sprinklers and, you know, your, outdoor hoses and things like that. Just inherited from the previous owner. Yeah. It's probably the outdoor one. Because usually, the sprinkler, that's how they usually do it, is you have, a separate shutoff. It's not the same as your water main, but it's like a separate shutoff valve for the outdoor stuff because those pipes are in the ground and, like, even if your house is warm, they're gonna freeze. So I know some people have to, like, get sprinklers drained. A lot of the city, the parks have sprinklers in them. So if you're there at the right time, you can see the sprinkler guy, like, draining all of the pipes straight into the sewer. He, like, turns off the water and then takes all the pipe water that's left and drains it out before it gets cold. They do that in all the parks before winter closes. Or closes before it starts. You know. Is the main shot from city water supply turned off to yo house? Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. The stuff that's in your house specifically that you almost never have to shut off. If your power goes out and is out for a while and your house is going to get cold, if that shit dips below freezing, your pipes are, like, gonna burst, dude. So definitely, just know where that is. If you don't already, go locate it. I'm a horse-stuck water main. You're in an apartment. Yeah, that's the hard part of living in a building with other people is, like, you could do everything right, but some other guy fucks it up and now like, there's water in your walls, you know? Or if the person lives above you. I've had that experience in the past where someone has lived above me and fucked something up and burst a pipe or, like, caused a water issue, and then I've had, like, water just pouring out of my ceiling. Does letting the sink and tub drip also help? Yeah. If you're shutting off your water main, leaving the faucets completely open so that everything just drips is good, because then as stuff moves and expands, it's more likely to just come out of the pipe instead of moving, like, against the grain and, you know, etc. You can also, if you're not shutting off your water, you can let them drip just a little bit just to keep water, like, slightly moving through them, though I don't know how much that really affects it. It's really more if, like, if you think it's gonna freeze, then shut that shit off, you know? That is the way. Or find a way to warm it. If you lose power and your place is cold, get one of those, like, propane heaters. They make portable heaters that are propane based. I've used a lot of them for camping and stuff. And have one that you put whatever the lowest part of your home is, or whatever's closest to your pipes especially. Just keep warming those rooms with the space heater and keep moving it around to keep it, like, as warm as you can possibly keep it. And that can also help to kind of combat the issue. Yeah, I'm propane, you know? I know what I fight for. Thought the dripping was what you did, so you didn't necessarily have to turn off the main. Yeah, you can do both. So if you turn off the main, leave it open so it does drip and, like, let everything out anyway. And then if you don't want to turn the main off, still, that's what I was saying, is, like, leave it slightly open. Your faucet's slightly open. Because then it keeps moving, so it's not getting stuck in one spot and getting ultra cold. So, yeah. That's how you could do it, but it's not perfect. If you're not gonna have power for like a full 12 hours plus, right? And like, and shit is gonna be like insanely cold. You should shut it off. You shouldn't be like, oh, I'll just keep the water moving. It'll be totally fine. You should just deal with it. You know? You can still have an issue, especially if there's a spot like especially in the, what do they call it? The U, I was gonna say U joint. In all these little U's where water pools, even if you leave faucets open, things like that, there will be water that just ends up sitting in certain spots, depending on how your pipes are shaped. The catch, thank you. So that alone, even if you're letting a faucet drip, there will still be, you bend is a better word, yeah. There will still be spots in your piping where water's just gonna be sitting. So that's why you should shut the main off and then full open things to like let that water come out and try to have as little water in those little bends as possible. I know some people have suggested, I don't know if this is good though. I feel like it sounds not good to me. Some people have suggested that they pour a tiny bit of antifreeze, just a little bit down into like spots where they know there's a U-bend when they do that. And I'm like, okay, this sounds like functionally I get what you're saying, but like, shouldn't you just clear it? Like, does that sound a little crazy? I don't think you should do that to your pipes, dude. I saw someone recommend that and I was like, okay. And like, you could do that and then flush it out later, but do you want to like actually just, isn't it caustic? Is antifreeze caustic? Hold on. Is it? It's, maybe it's old. They're saying new antifreeze is formulated to be neutral or slightly alkaline, but it can degrade and become acidic over time. Oh, it becomes glycolic acid. Glycolic acid is great for your skin, by the way. Yeah, don't put it in your pipes, dude. I saw someone say that and I was like, I don't know. So there's special antifreeze that's not super bad. I put some in my pool so the pipes don't freeze. I've heard of it in the pool, but not like in your house. Like into a little U-bend to be like, oh, you know. At least with the U-bend, the water has somewhere to expand as it freezes. Yeah, it can come up out of it a little bit, but even so, you know, you clear out as much as you can so it has as much room to expand as possible. But yeah, just don't. Don't do the little, oh, if I just let it drip, I don't have to turn my water main off. If you don't need water right now, brother, fill that bathtub up, okay? Fill that bathtub up. Have a bucket next to it to flush the toilet with water, because you can just pour water to flush a toilet. It's fine, okay? That can also be shower water, whatever it is. Maybe get a nice jug for cleaner water if you want cleaner water for drinking and all that. Yay. And just deal with it. Just turn the main off. You'll live. You'll live. You'll be fine. I mean, UPS is good for power if it goes out. Yeah, if you don't have a generator, or if you're in a building where you have to rely on someone else to do something with a generator, you can't just set that shit up yourself. Yeah, little UPS is good. Solid. If you have any little power banks for travel, things like that, just go charge them. Just go charge them, even if they're small. And then honestly, set stuff up beforehand to do. Is there a book you want to read? A board game you want to play? A little project? Or maybe you'll sit there and write. Maybe you just want to sit there and do some writing. Maybe you want to draw something. Just have all that stuff at your disposal, because the worst part of all this stuff is if you do get snowed in and you have no power or whatever, people get bored and they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. And then when they don't know what to do, they start doing stupid stuff because they're like, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. And they start trying to find stuff to do. Just don't. Just don't. Charge Steam Deck. Yeah, charge every device. Dude, you could charge old devices. If you have like your old DS, brother, go through all of your old devices. And if they work, go charge them. And go play, like replay an old game. Yay. You know what I mean? Just like do that. If you don't have like a lot of batteries and things, you don't have a UPS, you don't have whatever, then go ahead and just charge a whole bunch of different devices. You can go through them, you know? Buy a bunch of Gunpla. Well, you could do that when it's light out, by the light of the window, but what about when it's dark? Now, me, I would just sleep, but, you know. Depends on the person. I also can't sleep that long, so. Tea candles. Yeah, just be careful. If you're not a person who usually lights a lot of candles, be aware that you may very well forget that you lit a candle. And I know people that have like lit candles for light and for warmth and stuff when it's like, you know, a power outage and then forgot about the candle and just left that shit burning forever. It's not good. So yeah, carry with you like a little candlestick and stuff. Try not to leave it if you're not a big candle person. Oh, we have a 10K milliamp car starter thing. Can charge like 10 phones with a full battery. Yeah. A lot of car related stuff, auto related stuff. You can just keep a little power stored. What do you guys do for heat when the power goes out? The best thing you can do is find the room that is most central. Find a room that's not too big, that's centralized. Try to not pick something that's a corner or has too much of an outer wall if you can. And pick that room as the warm one. Okay? And that's the spot that you're going to hunker down. And then what you need to do is if there aren't carpets or rugs or whatever, put stuff down on the floor. You can just blanket fort it, which is honestly the best. Just do a blanket fort. Just throw comforters on the floor, whatever, so that like heat leaches out as little as possible. Set up a blanket fort and that's it. And you can just stay in there. If you have pets, it gets a little harder, but usually they'll hang out in there when they realize it's warm. Anything you can hang or put over like the windows. If you have extra towels and stuff, if you're in a room that does have a window for that, then throwing towels against like the edge of the window and stuff. If you have drafts, or even if you don't have drafts, you just want to insulate, just cover the windows with that. Hang stuff. If you have curtain rods, hang more stuff over the curtain rods, etc., etc. And that should help. It should help. Every room in your house is a corner. It is what it is. Pick the smallest one then. The smallest one is going to be the easiest to keep heat in. You know, a bigger room is going to be harder to heat. And just having people in a room and animals in a room will keep it a little warm. You just want to insulate that. If you have Mylar blankets, hang that shit on the wall. If you have a tent from camping, if you have a tent, I know some people that will set up a tent. So they'll throw down blankets or comforters or rugs or whatever it is on the floor, put the tent on top of that, and then hang more blankets over the tent. And they'll just set up inside a room, and that will be their blanket for it. That's probably the easiest way to do it. If you have a room that like you can just set up a tent in. That is the way. That is the way. So just do a tent, man, if you have one. They're great. That's just how it is. What prompted the Ice Age prep talk? Peep the screen. Peep the screen. Think warm thoughts. Yeah, think warm thoughts. The weather reports say snowstorm. Are you expecting a blizzard? What's the difference? Snowstorm versus blizzard. Oh, the strength of the wind, not the amount of snow. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because either way it's gonna be cold. So it doesn't change how you prep. In my opinion. Yeah, blizzard is more like definitely don't drive in it. Snowstorm also probably don't drive, but less crazy. What the fuck, in Russia we have central heating, lol? Well, yeah, Americans live in luxury in my opinion and have AC and heating and stuff. But in really intense storms, sometimes the power goes out and you don't have that thing for that time. So you have to plan. You have to plan. And it depends on where you live. Some places, they're going to bring your power back pretty quickly. Other places, you're like last on the list, dude. And you might be without heat for a couple days. And if it's below freezing, you know, you got to do something about it. You can't just sit there and be like, I'll just wait. I'll just put on a jacket, you know? Russian central heating breaks all the time. Oh, I bet it does. I bet it does. Yeah. Yeah. Some areas aren't equipped to deal with snow and stuff. Yeah, I don't think you need to worry about snow itself. I think the thing that always makes me laugh is all the people in like Texas and in the South when it snows a little bit and they start freaking out and they're like all these car pileups on the roads. I'm like, what do you like? It's not like I drive in snow all the time. And I've never once been like, whoa, and then like caused a 18 car pileup. So like, what are we doing here, dude? And I think it's just that they just don't know how to drive in the snow. Or they probably drive normal speed and take corners normally. Right? They probably just drive normally and then like fuck it up. Y'all got snow tires and there's more ice? I never put snow tires on. That's not a thing. You guys are acting like people have snow tires. So many people live in areas where it snows sometimes, and when it does, it's really bad, and they just drive. They just drive carefully. Yeah, I've never once used snow tires on like a normal vehicle, dude. I get like certain people, certain types of vehicles might have like those types of tires, but even in the Northeast, most people don't have snow tires, dude. They just drive better. They just drive better. Yeah, just go slow. That's all. That's all, man. Because if your car is going 10 miles an hour and it starts sliding and you just kind of like do what you can to keep it not hitting people and you still slide a little bit at 10 miles per hour and boop, smack into someone, you're not going to kill them. You're not going to kill them, right? But if you're going 50, which isn't even that fast, if you're going 50 and you start spinning out, shit's not good. Shit's not good, you know? So just be careful. Best thing to do is to not have anywhere to go, honestly, but that is what it is. It is what it is, man. So I've noticed that after moving to the Pacific Northwest from Alaska, but there's no traffic light delay at intersections. In Alaska, there's a good 5 seconds from one side going red to the other side going green. Here, it's instant. I've noticed this on the West Coast, too. In the Northeast, there is a delay. For that reason, for safety. There's a moment where all lights are red. And then after that, then the side that's supposed to go green goes green. And that little delay allows issues like someone sliding because it's snowing or raining or whatever to do their thing without other people from the other side going like, meh, and just starting, you know? And I feel like it's pretty effective. But yeah, I noticed that on the West Coast. It just like, in a lot of areas, maybe not everywhere, but in a lot of areas, it just boom, goes instantly. Depending on where you are. It's weird. I always notice it. I always notice it because I'm expecting a delay, but probably, I'm going to assume some cities maybe still have that. I don't know. I don't know. Very interesting. You never knew a place where there wasn't a delay. The thing is, like, you never think about it, but then when you go somewhere without it and you're used to it, you notice immediately. Because you see the cars instantly go and you don't have that moment, that pause. You will see it. I don't know why they don't have it. People probably get pissed if they add it. Trucker here, there are conditions that aren't too dangerous for me to drive at all, and even those are very rare. People can always still do these things in most conditions. You just have to be more careful. It also depends if you live in an area where they do like salt and sand the roads or not. It's still very doable if they don't do any of that. But you gotta go really slow. Really, like insanely slow. But that does affect it a lot. In the city, they usually do. But it depends on time of day and depends on where you live. Some areas, they hit last. So you're gonna drive a lot in areas with no salt, no sand, no nothing for a while. Or they just do like the avenues and they don't do the streets, right? Stuff like that. So that definitely gets a little interesting. There's a study about that delay cut accidents at intersections down an unbelievable amount. It's a lot of weird road stuff like that, you know, it's just a small change, but it makes a huge difference. And I never understand why other places don't adopt it. Never knew why. You said winter tires are mandatory in Sweden, no matter if it's snow or not. Someone said that about Finland earlier too. It's because the volume of snow here is different. In Canada, maybe it makes more sense, but if you're not that far north and you're in the US, there are a lot of areas where you get really bad snows occasionally, but it's not snowing all the time. A lot of the winter is just cold, but there's no snow on the ground. So that's why it's not mandated, is because it's not that often that the snow happens. So when it does, people stay in more. You do whatever, but that depends. Yeah, you said PA requires you to have tire chains on hand. That's the thing, right? Pennsylvania is very up there. It's near the Great Lakes. You get a lot of cold air coming up from Canada down that dumps. Also, snowstorms just pass through there all the time. So it just dumps snow on like northern New York and PA. So like areas like that, yeah, they might require it. But most of the US, when they get these storms, it's infrequent. So it's not going to be like a legality thing that you have to have snow tires or whatever. Yeah, the Great Lakes are crazy. Absolutely crazy. New York City hasn't gotten frequent snowfalls in years. That's why I'm so excited, man. I'm excited for the foot of snow or whatever. I hope it's a foot. They're saying 8 to 12 inches of snow potentially. I'm excited. I want it to snow a shit ton, and then I want to go to the park, and I want to sled around, and I want to toboggan my body like a penguin. And I want to build a snow fort. Because it keeps not snowing enough to like build a proper fort. I remember a long time ago, snow piling up taller than me when I was very little. When I was very little, I remember many years in a row having enough snow that it was taller than I was. And like walking on the sidewalk, and I couldn't see, like if I looked left or right, I couldn't see beyond the snow because it was just a giant wall of snow, because it would be like 2-3 feet high, like as a kid. Now we never get that amount, or even if you get a good amount, then you like pile it up on the side as you shovel it, it still doesn't get that high, those piles, So I look at this and I'm like, yes, it's fort time. It's fort time. I don't know. Not a lot of areas have felt like that amount of change in volume, but I feel like New York really has. Like New York really, really, really has seen a big difference in how much snow gets dumped on us volume-wise each year. So much, yes. Less than it used to be. And I love winter. So I'm happy for this snowstorm. I just hope, people can keep their power and stuff. I hope so. So the only experience you had of that was in 93 and you were too young to have vivid memories of it. It used to be that we'd get a foot and a half a couple times, and at least once a year there was like one giant blizzard that would dump like almost 2 feet of snow. At least once a year. And then we would just take it and pile it up and make actual like igloos and forts and stuff out of it. It was super fun. We'd make tunnels and crawl through it. But now it's like you just don't even get enough for that. Maybe if the snowplow comes through and they pile up a huge amount of snow on the side of the road, it's kind of tall enough, but then it's like dirty and gross, so no one wants to like build a fort in the brown snow, right? So it's kind of no thanks. Snow's important for flora and fauna as well. Insects now come back from hibernation faster due to higher rising temps. Yeah, I want the ground to freeze super hard and kill off a lot of the bugs. That's what I want. I want that ground to stay ultra cold and refrigerated for a while, and a lot of those nesting bugs in there just die. Just fucking die off. That's what I want. I have noticed the abundance of bugs getting a little bigger, a little higher over the years. In an area where it used to not be that crazy. So, we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, I'm excited. I'm excited. I give it a 2-3. Logic Ninja as well earlier. What else do we have? We have any other news? Any other news? feel like there's something else. Hold on, I screenshotted chat earlier. Twitch drama. When is there ever not Twitch drama? What is this time? Twitch had an oopsie with 2xKO sponsor email stuff. Oh, I saw that. Oh, and Marvel Rivals. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I saw that. You see their really cool idea? Oh, man. How about we sponsor you to maybe not get paid? Is the TLDR. That was it. I was just like, brother. How much is Twitch making from that, too? They must be, like, pulling a bunch of money out of it, dude. Let me see. What was the headline? Let me find it. All right, I have another window after this. Okay, yeah. So Twitch sent out this email to a bunch of people, and they were like, hey, you've been invited to be in the sponsorship campaign. Accept it on your dashboard if you want to do it. And it's a 2xKO sponsorship. So you can play the game, and you would think get paid, right? But what it is free bonus subs. So the promotion is if you play 2xKO and you accept this thing in your email, then when people gift subs, they gift bonus subs, right? Like when Valorant was doing that and they sponsored like that month of September or whatever, right? Why'd they call it a sponsorship? That's what I'm saying, Oshi. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't think this is a bad idea, right? Like they previously let Valorant do this on the platform. If they want to make it so that a company can promote its game by letting you sign up to get extra gifted subs when people gift subs, that's totally fine. But don't call that a sponsorship. Like, what? What? That's weird. Did they say it was like that in the email? They kind of like, the email just says available campaigns, and then it just shows it. And then in the spot where it would normally have an amount of money, normally it would be like, here's the sponsor. It gives you dates, and it's like you play for 2 hours, play this game, be in this category, and then it'll say like, you know, $100, whatever it is. Instead of a dollar amount, it just says free bonus subs there. So the idea is you play the game. There are channel skins, which is like this visual ad that displays over your stream while you're like part of this promotion. You get a display ad, etc. But these sponsors through Twitch, typically the ones that do pay you, not just the gift bonus sub, whatever the fuck this is, they usually pay like way below standard rates, which means either their negotiations are bad and they and us get paid less, or they're taking most of the money from it and giving peanuts to the creators for the promotion, and they're just like they're being the intermediary between you and the publisher for the sponsorship, but they're taking like way more than other companies that hand you sponsorships normally would, that are like third parties, which is how most people do their sponsors. We don't do them through Twitch usually. So I think they're just trying to insert themselves into that ecosystem where like they become a sponsor giver, but they're taking a fuck ton more. That's what it looks like. I don't know. They're just throwing pennies at you, and we don't have like the numbers. If I take a sponsor through a third party, through like a marketing agency, which is how most people will do it, they'll pay you and they'll be like, we're getting this amount to sponsor you. The rate is this, and we'll take 5%, we'll take 10%, we'll take whatever the percent is that they take, right? So you know the total amount that's coming in and what their percentage is, what their cut is. So it's very easy, it's comfortable to say yes or no to that because you know what you're getting. With the Twitch ones, you don't know. They're just like, we'll pay you $100 to do this. You have no idea what they're getting from that $100 though, right? Are they getting $10 and you get 100, or are they getting 100 and you're getting 100? You know what I mean? Like who knows? Who knows? So that's the problem here, which is, when is it never not the problem? Transparency, right? So that's the part that's like, what the fuck? I don't know. I am actually a big proponent of the idea of them doing the gifted subs thing though. But I think I don't know. I really, really, really like the idea of, in general, them adding on to the gifted subs like they did with Valorant. Because that was a good thing. But they didn't call it a sponsor. I think that's where they fucked up. I'm actually not mad about the 2XKO thing if they just didn't call it a sponsorship and just made it a promotion that, like, anyone who plays 2XKO for more than X time then unlocks, like, you know, gifted bonus subs for whatever. Like, you know what I mean? But it's not like a sponsor. I don't know. I think the whole sponsor industry is a little difficult to navigate right now. So I've been trying to think of, like, better ways to do it, solutions. I don't know. I think there's a lot that could be fixed. There are good ways to do this. But I think, I don't know, it's just a tough part of things. I just don't think Twitch should be doing this. I don't think Twitch should have their hands in it. I think third parties are much better. Right now, at least. Some are good, some aren't. Really not. When they did for Valorant, it was cool. I said that already. Yeah. Wondered what the gifted sub to paid sub conversion rate is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, Blazing, better stream compression. Oh, yeah, did you see the thing with Dan? Dan Clancy announcing something about doing a podcast. My favorite was good old Zach. Zach reports on it. I love his reply to himself. He said he's allegedly going to announce that he's launching a podcast this week. Dan Clancy is. And Zach just says, I hope it's successful so he can focus on it and resign as CEO of Twitch. I love Zach, dude. I'm gonna like his tweet. So good. That was where I first saw it, was like Zach posted it and I was like, oh, and then his reply got me earlier. So funny. God. Are sponsor subs worth as much as normal tier 1? Well, thing is, sponsored sub is like a new word and I don't even know what the fuck it means. I'm all for Twitch like trying to add in this like subscription gifted bonus thing to games, like if a company wants to do that. I just don't think they should use the word sponsorship. That's all. I don't know. What is Dan doing though? What is Dan doing? I think I wouldn't say I was ever team Dan. I would joke and be like, oh, my goat, because he'd do something stupid, but that was more poking fun at him than, being like, wow, this guy's actually great. What I liked was that he was, like, very, present, and he seemed to want to, like, be in the community. But it went from, like, I want to be more present than a normal CEO to I'm the king, boy, you know? and showing up and basically just trying to be, like, too much of a face. I think there was a threshold that I think is good. But I think he is the one taking the blame for a lot of stuff that isn't always him. Not to defend him, because I don't think he's necessarily a good CEO or anything. I just think it's a great way to hide stuff, right? Yeah, exactly, Osha. You said, I don't think it's just Dan, it's the entire leadership's fault. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, when companies fuck up, what they always try to do is have one person tank it. One person gets up there, and it's usually the CEO, right? Who gets up there and is like, oh, I'm ultimately responsible, so look at me, right? And they get scapegoated, right? So what they can do is they can oust that one guy and leave all the rest of the other leadership, all the other people in the company that are high up that all also helped with these decisions, right? And they can all stay in their jobs and they just replace the one guy and everyone's happy, right? But realistically, like, that's not what needs to be done. You need to look at and analyze everyone who's deciding on what. And of course, we don't get to peer into that level of detail. We don't know who does what exactly. When a decision comes out, we don't know exactly what person signed off on it. We just know, quote unquote, leadership did. Like, it's vague, right? So I think for him, it's very likely that he's just going to get scapegoated here. He probably is, like, you know, very complicit in a lot of the stuff that's going on. But there are probably other people too who will be safe because they could just oust him. You know what I mean? Yeah, bring out the org chart. Exactly, though, exactly. And I know personally a lot of people at Twitch that are like lower down employees, like your average, you know, dude in charge of one little thing employees that have really good intent and good project ideas and all this stuff, but they can't get it going because someone above them says no, or says, no, do this thing instead. So I know a lot of the general staff, like, are good and want to do the right thing, or not necessarily the right thing, but they want to do an idea that makes sense to try, right? But they don't get to, because they're not decision makers. They're not the ones driving the whole thing. So, and it's more than just the CEO, it's other people too. So I'm very curious to see, like, how this all goes, because I think it's very likely that they're gonna end up getting rid of Dan at some point, or he's gonna step down eventually. He will have collected his salary for whatever year, so he's chilling. And then they'll replace him with someone, and everyone will get mad at that next guy, just like they did with Emmett Shear, right? Except Emmett was less of a face. Dan is way easier to beat up on Twitter because he's, like, you know, a big face of stuff, right? So I don't know. How did he become CEO? He doesn't seem like somebody that would be qualified to be the CEO. Well, he was CEO of other stuff previously. He had a resume that led him into there. All you have to do is be good at talking. The thing is, being good at talking in a boardroom and in a corporate space is different than being good at talking on stream where, like, the general public is looking at you. And I think that's where they fucked up. I don't think them having a CEO that's, like, heard all the time is the right move. You know? Because that's you need someone who actually, like, knows how to talk in a way that the public won't get pissed at. He doesn't know how to do that. And this is why I've said it before. Like, when I sat with them on their, like, podcasts previously, whatever, and then we talked about it afterward, I was like, you know, it's very obvious to me that, like, he's saying some stuff that makes sense to me if you're just talking from, like, the company side, but this is, like, not acceptable to the public. But he thinks it is. He doesn't see how there's a huge divide between what the public wants to hear and what a corporate person would want to hear. And he'll say something that corporate might want to hear in front of the public, you know? And then I'm like, oh, fuck, Dan, no. Like, that's really, like, yeah, the disconnect there is, like, pretty big. So that's why I've said sometimes some of the decisions they make company-wise, not saying that I would make the same, but I get why the company does. But then he'll just, like, explain it and give the company's reasoning that they want to give, or some of it, or whatever. And he says it in a way that is just so, like, unacceptable to everyone listening. You know, it fucks it up every time. I don't know. All the public wants to hear is that the mobile app is getting worked on. Yeah. And if it's not, they want to hear a reason that makes sense to them. And they never provide a reason that makes sense. You know? Yeah, too many CEOs either lose or never had the interfacing with public thing down. Yeah, I think if they're going to have a CEO at Twitch or a president or whatever, if they're going to have anyone who's, like, really public facing, they need to be able to talk in a way that they can deliver thoughts properly and meanings properly to the public. Like, they have to be able to do that. Otherwise, just don't talk. That's why Emmett Shear was, like, he was never my goat. I didn't like him internally, like, his decision making, but at least he was quiet. It would have been way worse if he talked, you know? I don't know, man. That's why, like, the other person that was on the podcast, Mary, she's more so someone that's just, like, in charge of listening to the community and trying to deliver those words and you know, some various things. I think she's a lot better to talk to, which is kind of why I, like, wanted to do that in the first place, because I like Mary. And her job isn't to make the decisions. Her job is to, like, try her best to explain it, you know, to everyone. And I think she does a way better job of that than fucking Dan. Who? Mary Kish, but her URL is Mary Kish. I'll find her. She has the unfortunate job of sitting on that podcast with like Dan every week or whoever the guest is, but it's another guest. It's usually a nice podcast. She has to sit there and let him talk, and then she has to then repeat what he said in a way that makes more sense as best she can. She has a really tough job. She's the head of community. She's the head of community at Twitch. So a lot of her stuff is like helping out with like Nilo runs the creator clubs and stuff. She's like the person who goes through and says, yeah, I want to approve this, Nilo, go ahead, make the creator clubs, right? And then she has to like try her best to bridge with other people, she's not the only one, but to try and bridge like what they hear from that to then talk to higher ups and try to like translate. But that's, I don't know, I feel like she's in like this impossible job where like she can do her best, but they have to want to listen. You know, was a creator club. Never heard of that. Twitch has promoted them a lot. They were made, I want to say year and a half ago. It's just a club. It's like a little guild that you can join, and they have a Discord for each, and they have different flavors. So there's one that's the VTuber club, and then there's one that's like music. So if you're like DJing and stuff, there's a music one, etc. And you join it, and it's they have an approval system, so not everyone can join. It's for content creators that are on Twitch. They're actually doing this stuff. And you go in there and they hold webinars and seminars that people who are part of the club can do. They have ambassadors from each of those communities that help like run community events. They use the Discord forum tool a lot, so you can ask a lot of questions, and people who are also doing the same thing as you can like say a lot of stuff to you and help out. So like that's one of the big uses of those. I think they're good. Yeah, I'm in it. Chat, I'm in the VTuber Creator Club, and I've held 2 entire seminars in there. 2 entire seminars on just everything, just letting people ask me questions, doing FAQs for smaller creators, VTubers specifically. It was like in the VTuber Club. I've done 2 now. Because I noticed that there was like no presence of larger VTubers really in the Creator Club, and I was like, how are all these people going to get advice from those people if they're not like there? So I occasionally do a seminar. So I'm very in tune with that. And I think it's a great thing because it's super community oriented. It's literally like just a couple of Twitch staff that are part of the community team that are in there, and then it's all just like normal moderators and the creators themselves. So it's nice. It's nice. Said Mary's cool, only knew her from Giant Bomb. Yeah, I knew of her name from other like hosting that she's done before. Which is why I like feel bad for her that she's in that position, that she has to she has to be in that position, man. Oh. Rip Mary. Her takes on the model design discussion were solid. When she explained some of the stuff that they were thinking on that, I understood a lot more what they were going for. I did. When she was explaining, we were talking about like model design and like what isn't allowed, and that was one of the questions like or things in general I just wanted to know about, right? It was like, what's up with these guidelines? How do we interpret? And especially like, why aren't they more defined? The way she explained it, I was like, I get this from their perspective. But when other staff explain it, they don't seem to like I don't know if they don't know what they're talking about, or they just don't understand this community, right? Like, she at least knows what like anime is and stuff. She's not like a complete foreigner to all these things, so she understands a lot more of the frustration. So she was explaining it like, you have to leave gray area, otherwise you get the rules lawyers. It's kind of, she didn't say it exactly like that, but that's the TLDR. And I was like, okay, I understand. As someone who has to moderate a chat, I get it, right? But she was able to get me to understand that, right? Because she explained things just fine. The Dan, I don't know if he knew like where he was, you know. But she's good. I like her. Just asked my friend who worked with her and was shocked when she said Mary's one of the few good ones in there. Yeah, no, I've heard on the back end in the industry good things about her from people who worked with her at other companies and stuff, which is why like I'm more willing to talk to her in general, you know. Yeah. Yeah, she brought up the fucking gushing over magical girls reference, and I was like, yeah, she gets it. That's the thing, right? Like, she does get that stuff, so. And she's not the decision maker on the TOS. She was just explaining her best version of like why things are the way they are. But yeah, that reference got a lot of people. They were like, oh. Oh, she knows. That was funny. That shit got me. Yeah, to nowhere. She's good though. I think I wish she was more so one of the decision makers, because I feel like if she was that, like, she does actually listen to people when they complain. If she was a decision maker, I feel like things would be a little nicer, a little better, a little more understanding. You know. Is me JP also his wife used to be part of Twitch, and from some friends I heard she's super nice professional. A lot of people liked her. Yeah, I have no issue with Mary. I just think she's in a position that's hard to be in. Being head of community when all the people above you keep doing stuff that you know the community doesn't necessarily want is like truly hellish. But at least, like, because of her position, she gets to interface with the community more, so she still gets to have a good time. Because she's not so disconnected that she's not talking to the community, right? Like, her job is to talk to the community. So I think that's like, at least that keeps her sane, you know? At the very least. Shook over DJ. Yeah, I think DJ Wheat was the last one. Was he the last one, or was there someone in between them? I think he might have been the last one in that position. Yeah. She's a good pick. I remember when she was first moved in there, and I remembered her from older stuff, and I was like, oh, thank God. Because whenever a role like that opens up, you're like biting your nails trying to see like who they add, because it's really nerve-wracking. You know? So I understand why you don't want to set hard rules for TOS. At the same time, kind of feels on the outside that Twitch picks and chooses who they get hit with a violation or not. So I like to think of it like this, which I've talked about this before, but it's not that they pick and choose very heavily. There are situations where they do that. It's more so that they don't even look until something is shoveled in front of them. Because they don't have a lot of staff doing the bans and the appeals and all this stuff. A lot of that stuff is automated, which is why people have issues with it. They don't have a lot of human hands reaching into that system. And so what happens is someone does a thing that is TOS. If people mass report it, it gets pushed up to the top, and that person is likely to get banned or, you know, whatever, right? But if that stuff isn't reported to a frightening degree, then it might not even get noticed. So a lot of the time when you see like this person get banned for this thing but not that person, a lot of the time it's literally that people were reporting one and not the other. I still think there are absolutely issues with them like looking at something that's obvious and very publicly known, it's obvious it's bad, where they specifically don't go after that person because that's a moneymaker for them. I think that happens for sure, right? But there's so many like bans that happen that are just automated as well, and like for the most part there aren't that many human hands, and that's kind of why the shit's so uneven, and it's always been a problem. This isn't new. This has been a problem since Twitch launched. They've never put the manpower into it that could like have a human eye reading these appeals every single time, a human hand pressing the ban button. Like, it's never been like that. And that's what I was gonna say. Yes, that's what I was gonna say. What I believe on the like VTubers get banned more thing, what I believe here is that a lot of the time, not every time, a lot of the time when VTubers get banned more often for outfit stuff and not like a girl who, you know, is just like wearing a bikini on stream, whatever, I think a lot of the time it's because this is no surprise to us in this community. People hate VTubers. They see anime PFP and they freak out, right? You can just see this from the last year with everything that like Mouse has gone through. They see a VTuber do anything and they start freaking out. The amount of like forced hate is crazy, right? So when a VTuber is debuting a new outfit and they have higher viewership than usual and they're higher up in the just chatting category, they're going to get all these tourists that hate anime seeing them. And so now people who just want to hate just cause, they see the new outfit and they see them zooming in on the model and they're like, ooh, I can report this. And they do it. And then it moves that shit up to the top of the pile. Because there's a lot of attention on them and a lot of negative attention because there are a lot of people that just hate for no reason. And so it gets moved up to the top of the pile and the bans go through more often. Whereas if there's some girl whose stream every day is her wearing like a very skimpy outfit and working out and it's clearly like kind of baiting something, whatever, people aren't reporting that because, you know, same shit, different day for them. And a lot of people that are watching are not going to report it. They're not going to do that. It's a lot of people that just see it and they go, that's crazy anyway, and they click off. But they don't have like a complete hate boner for them the same way they do for anime, right? There is still some of that, but it's not enough. You know what I mean? So that's kind of one of the reasons that I feel personally there's a lot more of that. And I think some VTubers think that there's like a lot of Twitch staff that have their hands in these bans and appeals, and that those people hate VTubers. There might have been one or two people that maybe like have a distaste, whatever, but usually humans are not the ones doing this stuff, you know? It's just automated because you got mass reported because fucking normies hate anime, right? Like that's what it is half the time. Not to say that there's absolutely zero of either side or anything, you know, like that. Some of that stuff could still be true here and there, but I think the more common answer is that. So I don't know, man. So more of a human touch would help that stuff not happen, but I don't think they could ever afford it. I don't think it'll be ever solved in any way, shape, or form because I don't think they can afford to do that. You know? Yeah, you said YouTubers also get a bad rap because the stuff that escapes containment tends to be real weird. I agree. When I see a clip go viral within the VTubing bubble, half the time it's like, fine. That's never what escapes the bubble. The stuff that does get out of the bubble is always the weirdest stuff. The stuff that a lot of us look at and we don't fuck with that, or like we don't claim that, or like, I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know this person, whatever, right? And that's the stuff that gets out. And then that kind of turns people's opinions even more. And legitimately, like, there's so many VTubers out there and I don't know most of them. I don't fuck with a lot of them. We're not similar people at all. Doesn't mean I hate them, but like, I just don't. They say something and I'm like, we're not the same, you know? But on the outside, people see it as one bubble because people keep using the phrase VTubing community, which makes it sound like we're one community that know each other or that we claim each other. And I think that keeps like damaging it a little, you know what I mean? That keeps like the outside impression like we're one thing. And we're really not. We're really not. I don't know most of these people genuinely, and I've never interacted with them, and I don't claim them, but, you know. It'll still happen, man. People will look at it and be like, oh, you must know all of them. You must all be friends. You must condone everything they all say and do. And I'm like, nope. Nope. I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy. You said, no, some of the ones that break containment for the weird shit also tend to be niches amongst niches. Tiny creators that people extrapolate to be all of them. Yeah. They have like their one viral moment. People don't really watch them like that much outside of that. But then people will be like, I can't believe people watch this shit because they saw one clip go viral. And I'm like, we don't. People don't, you know? Or sometimes people do, but it's like you said, a very niche community and it's very in its own bubble. And people be like, this is so weird. I can't believe, you know, 1,000 people look at this one thing. And I'm like, well, that's the same 1,000 people every day and I don't know them. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I agree, Madaver, you said, I've been having thoughts, TM, about how folks will paint a wide category as a community, like art community, VTubing community, etc. It's just a shared hobby. You can't be in community with strangers. Exactly. That's exactly the problem here. But I don't think you can necessarily undo that because the human brain categorizes, right? It sees a bunch of people that are using cartoon avatars, whether it be anime or a more American cartoon or some just random ass 3D model. Like they just see that and they're going to put them in the same bucket automatically because I think the human brain just does that. So I don't know, even if you make effort, I don't know that you can undo that. completely. I don't know. I think the best thing you do is understanding, you know, build bridges so that people see more of a breadth. Because I always see comments of people being like, oh, they're all like, they all act like kids. They all have like child avatars and speak in high-pitched voices. And I'm like, well, actually, I know a fuck ton that don't do either of those things or only do one of those things or whatever it is, you know, and even then, like, that's usually their voice. And the avatar is usually like cute, not a child, you know, etc. But there's a lot of that's said, and I'm like, wow, they really don't know anything, do they? So the best you can do is like just put more VTubers in front of them so they see the, you know, the breadth of that. Breadth with a D. But there's no people turn up their noses when people outside of VTubing kind of like act negatively. And they're like, I don't want to be friends with normies because they're evil or something like that. And now like there's no chance that you'll ever build that bridge, you know? So, I don't know. I don't know, man. We'll see. I think over time it'll get better because, you know, the beams will always cross. They'll always cross over time. Some people cross more than others. I definitely am one of the ones that I have a lot of friends that are not VTubers, right? And I do stuff with them all the time. And so some people like me, etc., like, you put me in front of a bunch of people, they don't even know I'm a VTuber if they just hear my voice in some, like on the Minecraft server, right? And then they come to the channel and they're like, oh, you're a VTuber. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, I didn't think you would be. Because they were expecting, like, a face cam streamer looking very different because they judge based off of voice, etc. And that's good. Every time someone sees that, they're like, oh, they are normal people, you know? Right? So you have to, like, you just have to do that bit by bit. Yeah, I'm in the corner with the red solo cup. They don't know I'm a VTuber. Meanwhile, I'm on every game server. They don't know. But there's plenty of us that come off as very normal. Or just a little quirky or whatever. Unlike voice, so. You just gotta hope that people see more of that over time. Though I will say, when you're a VTuber, sometimes when you like collab with non-VTubers, there are people that are like little pockets of the VTubing viewership that like get weird about it because they like their bubble. They start sharing that meme about like thing after it gets popular is ruined, and they start sharing the process meme, right? And they'll be like, oh, we're in this phase of enshittification or blah blah blah. They start doing that thing that they all do. They don't like it because they want their little niche hobby to say their niche hobby. But I'm like, dude, you don't own it. So I don't really care. I don't really care, man. Accusing Mouse of drawing in tourists. Yeah, she gets a lot of that. People don't really bother me about it because they don't bother me about anything, if I'm being honest. Who did that song? Was it Nas? No. Who has that song about, like, I don't have haters? Hold on. Hold on. Ice Cube, I ain't got no haters. There you go. That's my point. Just go listen to that song. That's me. I'm sure there's some people that don't like something, but they don't really say it to my face ever. And if they do, I say something back and then they stop talking typically. So it's like, you know. It is what it is, dude. But I don't know. I don't really tank a lot of that. And there are times where I see other friends tanking it. I'm like, man, I wish they just said that to me instead. And not this friend of mine. Because I would bounce them off a lot more easily. I don't know. So now I'm a building block for the bridge. I'm 70. Used to be 100% normie, but I follow 10 to 12 VTubers now. Yeah, that's how it happens. I mean, everyone has to find something in some way. And you just hope that their first blush is a more normal experience and not like a clip of someone doing some crazy shit the rest of us don't claim, you know? Like, you really hope, but unfortunately some of the biggest clips are the ones that are like the worst for us image-wise, you know? It is what it is. Till the bridge is built, discussions about childlike models will continue. I hate that discussion so much too, because it's like there's so many different people in this equation that think so differently about all that stuff and interpret all this stuff differently that like it's not even a conversation you can have. You just can't. I don't know. And like there might be someone who is doing bad stuff and is totally complicit with that, and then someone else who has a similar looking model who's like not doing anything bad with it at all, and people will put them in the same bucket, and I'm like, well, come on. But also it really it's disheartening for a lot of the women out there who are very normal adult women but are maybe on the shorter sides, or some of them don't have very, you know, voluptuous bodies. They're kind of flat. They're still an adult woman. So when you see that conversation online, someone sees something that doesn't look like Kim Kardashian, you know, they're like, oh my God, it must be a child. You can't even like it. I have friends who like have said to me, like, they're like VTubers, and they're like, I look like that IRL a little bit, like where I'm like shorter and like blah, blah, blah. Like some of them are like, I'm not voluptuous, whatever. And when they hear that, what they hear is a bunch of dudes going like, you're not a woman. Right? Yeah, height of consent type shit. Exactly. And they already deal with this in their real life. So now to also get it when they're like VTubing is like so, and sometimes it's not even their model. It's just seeing them say that. They're like, fuck. It's a really hard thing for some of those people to see and hear, you know, because I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, he said there's a very big difference between some of these models and just being a short person or an A cup. Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like the problem is there's so much nuance. You have to deep dive into someone to see like what the intent is or whatever, you know? And I'm like, that's, no one's going to do that. No one's going to give everyone that time of day, that grace. Yeah, you said you're a short and flat just adult, so you see your body type being called childlike all the time, which kind of sucks. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. Absolutely. So that's one of those things where I'm just kind of like, man, you know, man. It's a hard conversation to have because now you got to like go into all these different nuances. You said there's a big gap between petite and ooh woo, I'm a sexy baby. Yeah, that's the thing is like some of the stuff that they point at and they're like, oh, it's this, it's that. I'm like, it's really not. Like, you ever seen a cute woman in your life? Like, you know, it's really not. Oh, man. I don't know. Oh, yeah, good point. You said men who like that body type also won't speak up for the same reason. Right, that's the thing. It's like a body type within the normal range of what women can look like. But if you say you don't like, you're like, I don't like when they have a huge ass, people will be like, oh, so you like babies, right? And like they take 10 steps ahead and they don't give anyone the grace to be somewhere in the middle ground, right? Of like, I like this end of the female spectrum as far as body types and things and like height, whatever. Like, they don't give any grace to those people at all. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, this is so true. You said, I feel like a lot of female VTubers who get hated would be judged even if they never had a model. 100%. People are like making this shit about VTubers, but let's be real. Let's be so real. Yeah, I was going to say Lily and Michael. They're both short. They're both very short. They have kind of younger faces for their ages. They get some of the worst of it that I've seen on like normal face cam streamers. Lily was mocked for her voice for forever, and people always saying, oh, it's fake, or oh, she's doing it on purpose, or she's trying to sound like a baby. She just talks like that. She just talks like that. And I know, the thing is, I know so many women IRL that just have higher pitched voices. You could go watch so many normal face cam streamers who don't necessarily look young, and you could close your eyes, and a lot of them do sound higher pitched. And if they had a VTuber model, people would probably accuse them of shit. But, you know, because they have a face cam on and because they, like, body-wise maybe don't look that young, people don't, like, the selective hearing kicks in, right? And they don't really hear it. And so that's something that's interesting. It's very interesting. The visual does a lot. The visual does a ton. You know? Said, your wife looks young. She's older than you, though. But you look older than you are. So someone once asked if you were her father. Oh, no. No. Yeah, I know some people that, like, are quite a bit older and still get carded. And treated like a kid. Why does everything have to be about fetishism? Dude, I think most people online are self-reporting. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be so real. They're like, they see a character that's cute and they're like, why are you trying to make that baby so sexy? Meanwhile, the kid isn't like, it's like not a kid, right? It's just a character that's like a young woman and she's not doing anything sexual. I see someone who jumps to that conclusion and I'm like, what is your brain doing there? I think you need to stop and look within. You know the Cynthia Erivo thing where she puts her hand out, backs up from the guy, right? I see that and I stop and I go, oh, and I put my hand out and I back up and I say, look within, okay, for a second, and just let's double check here and figure out what's going on here. Like, why is our brain jumping to this conclusion so quickly? Do you look at every picture of everything and determine if it's sexy or not? Like, what? When she is Evelyn, I gotta find it. Wait, Cynthia Erivo gif. I gotta find that gif of her backing up. I like the one of her tapping her head with her nails. That's a favorite. That's a personal favorite. Oh, I found the gif. Okay, if I save this and put it in OBS, will it work? Will it work like that? Let me see. It does. This one. This is me whenever I'm online and I see someone like immediately jump to that conclusion where they're like, why are you trying to make it a sexy baby? I'm always like, whoa, hold on. Stop and look within, right? Stop and look within. I love this gift so much. It should be an emote. Is this an emote? Hold on, let me see if we can find it on 7TV. Hold on. There's, oh, yeah. It's capital what with a question mark. Let's see if this works. Oh my god. I wish it was more zoomed in, but that's just what the scene looks like. Oh, that's good. Is there one of her tapping her head with her nails? Let me see. How's this one? Do we like this one? Right there. Cynthia. Oh, that's good. It's hard to see. It's hard to see. It's a little small. It's her tapping her head with her nails. Bless you, Wolfie. Oh, it's lucky. Oh, bless you. Dude, I don't even know. What was she saying in this moment? When she was tapping her head? Like, what the hell was she talking about? Oh, man. Here. Look at her. What was she saying? Look within. Look within. Please. INTJ. Me when I'm an INTJ and another is talking. Dude, she's so weird. Have you seen the internet's obsession with her and Ariana? I feel like this is something that gets like fed in the algo to mostly women. So I don't know if the dudes in the chat have seen this. Have you seen the sheer outrage of people really caring about like how her and Ariana are acting in general? Like how they're living their lives? I don't know if I'm with it or against it. I have no clue. I'm just watching. gets blown up. I think there's absolute validity to it, but people are taking every little bit of it and blowing it up out of proportion kind of thing. It's a bit of both. The TLDR is, so Cynthia and Ariana Grande were the two stars in Wicked, right? Which is big musical, big long-term known musical, and they made a movie version. And they play the two witches. Cynthia's the green one, Elphaba, okay? And Ariana plays like the blonde, pink dress wearing good witch, Glinda, okay? And the thing is, they do this movie, and Ariana says like this was always her dream. She always wanted to do Wicked and especially theater, and she loves singing, whatever. And this is true. This is true that she loves singing and all of that. But she's kind of like one of those people who's a little bit of a sponge, right? So like people always point out like whatever dude she was dating, she would just like be just like them and be into what they were into, whatever. So they're like, I guess this is just her next thing, which I think a lot of people are like that. So I don't think that's a very valid criticism of her, like as if this is a unique problem she has, because tons of people are like that, right? They enter a new friend group and now they're one of them, right? This is a lot of people are spongy like that, right? But so is she. So she gets into Wicked and she like becomes Glinda IRL. Okay, so the way she talks now even is a little different, and like the way she does her makeup and her hair is like a little different too. And she just like looks different. But people are really concerned because she looks super thin. A lot more thin than before. She was already a thin person. And so do a couple people on the cast. And so people are like conspiracy theorying a little bit, and they're like, what happened? Because a lot of the people joined the cast, did the movie, and then after the movie look skeletal. And they're like, what's happening? So it's like very concerning. I think the other issue though is that some people are taking pictures of her where she looks a little thin and then they're editing them to look even worse. So there's also like the haters are like, now's my time, and they're also, like I said, blowing some stuff out of proportion. So I'm like, it's hard to tell exactly what is where, right? But right, yeah, is it drugs? Is it just them? Is it people just doing something together and living a similar lifestyle? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're all into eating a certain way. Who knows, right? But then the other problem is, so looking at that, you're just like, I don't know. And for me, I'm like, well, you can comment on people's bodies, but you don't know what's up with them. So you have to think about that. If you're commenting on someone's body, what if something's wrong? What if they have a thing going on? Whatever. You don't know. So it's probably best to not sit there and give a lot of opinions, right? It's one thing to observe. I think it's okay to observe, but like to start picking at it is more that I don't think we need, right? So I look at this and I do observe, oh yes, a lot of people on the cast became very thin afterward. But I don't feel the need to say anything else, right? But then the weird part is not that. That could be a little weird, maybe not, could be normal. Who knows? We don't know what happened, right? But then every interview has Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo sitting next to each other and talking, and their personalities have like shifted. I think Cynthia was kind of already like that, but like Ariana has like morphed into Cynthia too a little bit, and that's why people are getting freaked out because they notice the change in her, right? And they're like so emotional, and they cry in so many of these interviews, and they'll just look at each other and they'll just blink at each other, and like sometimes they don't even say anything, and they're just like, yeah, and they're just like crying at each other, and we're like, what? Everyone watching is like, what is happening? And it's getting weird in the promos of the movie. So that's the part. Now people are looking back at the weight thing and picking on that even more, blah blah blah, because like they're just overly emotional, and they're like, what is going on? What is going on? It's getting, I don't know, right? Mike, thank you for the bits. Hanno said they had some kind of insanely unhealthy relationship. I don't know what it is, if it's some kind of group psychosis or what, but it definitely wasn't healthy. Well, we don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to judge too quickly because I don't know what went on. Maybe they were just stressed. Maybe they just lost weight from stress. Dancing a lot, performing in a musical movie is different from a standard movie. Like maybe it's the same as performing in one with a lot of action scenes, right? Because you're like running around and dancing all the time. It could be as simple as that. that plus stress and they're eating a little less, boom, right? It doesn't have to be like a crazy thing. I don't know. And then that also makes you emotional because prolonged stress and then people that you're working with very closely, you're sticking together. You know what I mean? Like you can put all these things in hand with each other in a way that maybe isn't so weird. But then you watch the clips and it looks weird, you know? So it's like, it's hard to determine, man. But I like to watch it with great interest from afar and, you know, look at it. Stress can make people lose their appetites. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, you're more physically active, you're doing demanding hours, and you're very stressed, you're not eating as much. Like, I could see how this could all be really actually normal to happen to people because of the work environment, right? And you just don't notice. If you're slowly losing weight, you don't always notice, right? Can't two theater girls just have a toxic fury for the public and it not be an issue? Well, I also enjoy it. I also enjoy watching it from afar and being like, what is this? You know, like I'm like, yeah, keep being weird. It is what it is. I don't know, but some of the clips are like, I don't know. I think the problem is the public is dunking on them so hard when, again, we don't know what the fuck is up with them. And they're going crazy. And I'm gonna get you like video titles. By the way, multiple videos are made about the topic of them two and their relationship every day that are getting hundreds of thousands of views. Here, a year ago, there's a video that was posted that said, the title was Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo crying for almost 6 minutes. It's just 6 minutes of clips of them during the promo period of Wicked just crying. 6 solid minutes of like promotional periods. And this isn't all of the footage from the press tour. This is just them, you know, just doing it sometimes. I don't know. It's crazy. I missed that. What was that? What was the line where they said holding space for defying gravity? What was the line that they said? Holding space, defying gravity interview. What was the crazy shit that she said? Hold on, here's a short. Let me listen to it. She's so quiet. What does holding space with that mean? I'm sorry. I don't talk like this, so I don't know what this means. What? And then they hold hands and they look into each other's eyes. Wait, we gotta watch this one. Oh, this one's good. Wait, hold on. This is a banger. I haven't watched it in a while. That's what I wanted, actually. Oh, that's really powerful. So powerful. Ugh. Dude. This is an incredible clip. I remember seeing this like a year ago, but it's been a hot minute. I'm going to show you now. Every interview with them during the press tour was like this, which was like the reason why people started making all these videos about it and like talking about it so much, because like literally everything they said was like, you know, hashtag this is so deep. Look at this. The finger hold. I've seen it, yeah. She holds her finger. I don't know what it is. This interview is just so fucking funny. Oh, the interview. I think it's the interviewer gets me. The interviewer gets me. I am in queer media, and I've been noticing this. Like, everyone was saying this, too. This wasn't just like... what the fuck does holding space mean? What did she say they said? What does that mean? I genuinely do not understand. Is this a term in like in psychology? What does this mean? I don't know. I'm not in tune with other people's feelings like that and how they, it's a therapy term. Okay, I've been in therapy and I've never heard this. What does holding space mean? I just haven't heard it in this context. Holding space means being fully present. I don't like this type of terminology. It's too vague and it doesn't help people actually understand what they're feeling. I don't like that. I've noticed this recently in people talking about their feelings online. In recent years, they keep using vague terminology that is like open to interpretation to help people understand themselves, which means they don't understand themselves because you're using vague terminology. It's just not, I don't like that. Being fully present and offering compassionate, non-judgmental support to someone. Oh, so this is, hold on. This is a term about treating someone. Holding space with them is you are giving them space to be listened to without judgment. Why can't you just say that sentence that I just said? It's about creating a safe, accepting container, in quotes, where they can be vulnerable and understood. Isn't that just a conversation? We're word slopping it. I don't disagree with what it's trying to mean, like, but holding space with that is such a weird way to say that. I hold space in League to center the camera. Brother, why can't you just say a sentence? That's what I'm saying. It feels like corporate jargon when they're like talking about methodologies and they start assigning weird words to them, and I'm like, why can't we just be descriptive? Right? Like, I don't know. You start word slopping stuff and it loses meaning. And she didn't even use it in the right context. This it sounds like the context of that is supposed to be like you're giving a person space. Giving someone space is something, but that's different. I don't... What is this? It's an amazing interview, though. Now, I look back at this interview and I'm like, holy shit. I love when she whispers. I think Cynthia whispering is my favorite part. She's like, I didn't know. I didn't know they were doing that. Her delivery of I didn't know that was happening is so good. Right here. Ready? Me moving out of the way? You didn't know that people were looking up the lyrics and being like, that's cool? This is an emotional song and it gets to me emotionally. I didn't know that was happening. Oh. The whisper is so good. I didn't know that was happening. Is incredible. She does sound shocked on a spiritual level, right? And that's the thing. This is why people are like so obsessed with Ariana and Cynthia and like their relationship with each other, because they keep holding hands and looking into each other's eyes deeply. And Ariana has like really good concerned eyebrows. Like she has a really strong set of muscles between her eyebrows. Okay, so when she like furrows her brow in, she gets like highly concerned eyebrows, right? She just has a lot of movement there. So when she looks at Cynthia and she does like concerned eyebrows, they're like extra concerned looking. So it just builds up this scene for people that's so like, I don't know, crazy. The queer media thing coming out of nowhere kills me. Why did she, what did it have to do with anything? Wait, what did she say? Okay, she was trying to say she's in queer media, which means the community that she follows and the posts that she sees are people that follow that type of stuff, which are people in that bubble. So she's like, I see it a lot there. But she just said, I'm in queer media, so that's, you know. And Cynthia goes, that's really cool. I just, people are like, they're speaking in half sentences, you know? And they're like leaving the context just on the floor for you to look at and interpret. But I love when Cynthia goes, that's really cool. Because I think Cynthia's clocking immediately that she's like I don't think she's trying to do it too hard, but she's kind of self-promoting a little bit. She's like, by the way, I'm in queer media, you know? Cynthia's like, wow, that's cool. Like, none of it's wrong to say. It's just the timing is kind of funny because they're like getting emotional, looking in each other's eyes. And she's like, by the way. I love that interview. It's so weird. It's so weird. They're just so like in tune with what each other are saying, but not at the same time. It's amazing. It's amazing. Holding space with that. So I was such a wicked girly, so I kind of get it. I mean, I saw the musical on Broadway. I didn't see the movie. I saw the musical on Broadway because I've seen like every musical on Broadway because I like musicals. And I understand what it's about very heavily. I like the musical. I don't like all of the music from it, like more than other musicals, but I still like it. I don't know. Remember to hold space. You stream at all times. Dude, remember, chat, I need you to really hold space with each other, okay? Paris is Burning was super weird for someone not in the space to see the first time in the 90s. That's very true. That's one of those ones I feel like everyone should watch, though. I don't know. I feel like Paris is Burning is like required reading. If anyone wants to understand anything about that space. Because it gives you an earlier look at how we got to where we are, I guess, is a good way to put it. And I think it puts things in a light where people might respect it a little more. You know what I mean? I don't know. What's your favorite show to see on Broadway? What's currently? I mean, it depends on what's currently playing. Because some stuff will be on for a couple years and then they end its tour. Or its stint on Broadway. Wicked's still ongoing, which is good. Oh, Book of Mormon is like always a good one. I feel like everyone could like that. Very comedic, very palatable to people who aren't used to musicals. So the Book of Mormon is really nice. I wanted to see Operation Mincemeat. I haven't seen that yet. Hadestown is always playing. I think you should see Hadestown. That's the one that I always recommend to people. I made Heavenly see it. He visited New York City and he was like, what do I watch? I can only watch one musical. And I was like, you're gonna see Hadestown. I sent him to go see it and he really liked it. Oh, I want to see The Great Gatsby. Chicago's on. I love Chicago. Chicago is like one of the best. And I think of all the ones that were turned into a musical, I think the Chicago movie was really nicely done. Really, really, really nicely done. Well, that's the stuff that's listed on Broadway right now that I would say you should like definitely see. A lot of the others are good too, but those are the ones that are like favorites. A lot of my personal favorites are not showing on Broadway right now. Oh, Death Becomes Her. Death Becomes Her, the musical is good. Yeah, I would recommend those. I would stay away from the top one or two that everyone goes and sees. They're usually overpriced and they're often okay. They're okay. I went and saw Hamilton, and I didn't like it that much. I liked certain things about it, and I thought the actors were amazing. Amazing. The production of it was great. I don't like Lin-Manuel Miranda's songwriting that much. You watch like one thing that he's made, and now you know what it all sounds like, you know? But also there were a lot of sections in it where like characters would start rapping, but it was very like campy and bad. I think on purpose, but it was campy and bad. And even if it was on purpose, it didn't come across as funny to me. So it was very like, my name is John and I like to rap. And it came off like that, you know? And I was like, really didn't enjoy it. But the King is a great character. So the, you know, 2 songs he shows up in are great. So there's that. I don't know. I had half a mind to jokingly say Cats, but they might not have gotten that it was a joke. Some of the songs in Cats are beautiful. But yeah, I'm not a Cats the musical fan. Hi, Egg.
Can we dance?
Can we dance? Can we dance? Oh! You played it twice.
Can we dance?
Can we dance? Dude, they should make that. Oh my god. I always wanted to go to one of those concerts. You know, the Wiggles like went on tour. I'm not even into the Wiggles, but I was always curious to see if it was like the greatest production of all time. Because some of the best concerts I've ever been to in my life have been ones that I wasn't going to go to, but then someone was like, yo, I got I got a ticket, just go. I don't want it to go to waste. And I'm like, fuck it, you know? I always go to like a free thing. One of my friends had a ticket to go see Mr. Worldwide, to see Pitbull. And they were like, yo, my boss gifted me these tickets. Do you want to go? She just had like a couple of tickets, and I was like, fuck it. I was like, how bad could a Pitbull concert be? It was one of the greatest concerts ever. I'm not even that into his music. It's just like standard party music. It's whatever. But the actual concert environment was incredible. All the fans were very like respectful. Everyone was just having fun, standing right in front of their seat, being nice. The production on it was good. He was like doing his shit live the whole time. And I was like, brother, why is the Pitbull concert so good? Like it was a great party. And I was like, okay, I understand. But anytime I've been gifted a ticket, like I'd say 75% of the time it's been real good. Real good. I'm on my hands and knees explaining Memory is a song for the people and not meant for gays or cats. Which one do you mean? CAYS. Which typo was it? Because if you said the former, you know, I would say, hold on now, I'd Cynthia you. Just for a second. No, I think there's a lot of good stuff on Broadway right now, but a lot of the good required reading, required watching, you're gonna have to find on YouTube. You're gonna have to find on YouTube and find like the old stage productions. He's a cat. Sorry, it is meant for the gays. That's what I thought. I was gonna say something, but no. That's what I thought. Keep saying I don't like Imagine Dragons, but I think one of their shows would be so fun. Yeah, I'm also very not into Imagine Dragons, but if I got given a ticket, I would go. 100% I would go. Absolutely. I just like concerts in general, but a lot of the shows, certain groups do a really, really, really good job. Really good job. So, we'll see. What's the code word? Slime tutorial. Slime tutorial. You're looking for, you want to find a specific musical and you want to watch a really good stage production of it that someone illegally filmed? Slime tutorial. That's the code word. The gays, me, have had an emotional breakdown in the car while it's raining, scream singing Memory. Dude, I got this friend who, he can sing like almost in a soprano. Like his voice can go so high. He normally doesn't sing that high though. So he'll sing Memory in like a normal like ma ma ma, like there, like tenor, right? And it'll sound beautiful. But then when she gets to the line where she sings Touch Me, he'll always go up an octave and like beautifully hit the note. And every time he does it, and like someone around us has not heard him sing before, they hear him singing in like his normal tenor and they're like, wow, that's so beautiful. And then he goes, Touch Me, and he goes all the way up and they're like, whoa. It's really funny. It's always so good. Are you friends with Vitas? He basically could be Vitas if he was like a professional singer. If he was singing all the time, I think he could give him a run for his money. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. You always cry during Magical Mr. Mistopheles? You know which one I always cry during? It's a song that I, like, brother, no one should be, like, crying that hard during that song or anything. The one that always gets me, and I'm not, like, sobbing or anything, but the one that always gets me is Finishing the Hat. I don't know why that song always gets me. And it's a quick one. It's not even like long. It's not even the culmination of anything in the musical. It's not the song Move On, which is the thing later of them actually culminating to an emotional moment. It's not even that. But I fear Finishing the Hat, and I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god. You know? It's so good, man. It's so fucking good. I was watching you know, I'm a sicko, so sometimes I'll think of a song from a musical and I'll be like, I've decided I'm gonna binge watch 8 plus different singers singing the same song, because I like to hear different interpretations. And if like someone new does a new cover of a song that's from a musical, I love to put it in the repertoire, right? And I love to like compare and be like, this person's performance in 1998 was the greatest of this song ever, blah blah. I'm one of those, right? So I was watching performances of Finishing the Hat. And I remembered how much Raul Esparza was like better than everyone else at conveying emotion when singing. And I don't know, I had a moment the other night where I was like, Raul Esparza needs to play him. They need to bring him back and he needs to be the main actor. And, you know, now it's like my new sick obsession in my brain. I just keep thinking about like, man, imagine if they did the musical Sunday in the Park with George on Broadway again. And Raul Esparza was the guy playing George. Which is, I think maybe like 10 people in the chat could picture what I'm saying. Because I don't know how many of you know that musical, and then how many of you also can imagine Raul Esparza specifically being the lead of that musical. But for the 10 of you that might be able to, that is my new obsession. Is trying to like one day just see him doing the whole thing. We'll see. Maybe one day. I love Vitas' Seventh Element tongue roll part. Dude, my favorite is that Vitas is super popular in China. And there's so many, like, videos of him doing concerts in China where he does, like, a lot of his opera and everything. And the thing is, because of the high population, because of the types of venues they have over there, everything, the videos look insane. It looks like he has an audience bigger than the Tokyo Dome sometimes, right? And he'll just be there singing his, like, operatic song to an audience in China in like 3 football stadiums worth of people in this one venue watching him. And it's just crazy. And it almost looks AI generated sometimes. It almost doesn't look real. It's crazy. Oh, I've seen Third Reprise. Yeah. I've seen them before. They've done some really good stuff. I just like seeing, I like watching younger or newer singers interpret songs from musicals or any songs, covers of any song really at all. I don't know. It's just a thing. It's just a thing I like doing, sitting there and watching, especially when it's a really popular karaoke song. I like watching different people like do their interpretations of these songs and everything. Sure, they're on things other than TikTok. Yeah, they are. You're a fan of covers. I like watching people cover songs a lot. I think a good example is I like some of Post Malone's music, but I don't like the way he sings usually. Like, I don't actually like to listen to him because I don't like the way he sings, because I don't like how he enunciates. I think he has a great voice. I just don't like the way he enunciates. So sometimes he'll be singing something and he'll be like, and I'm like, I'm sure those were words, you know? That's just me. But then sometimes people cover his songs and I'm like, wait, this shit's good, you know? So like the stuff that's less rap, more like standard. I like a lot of those things, but I don't like them until someone covers them sometimes. So that's sort of like, I think listening to covers is good because sometimes it can make you like a song and maybe you just didn't like someone's performance of it, you know? I like some Post music, but I agree. Yeah, I'm very iffy on him. I think he's talented and I think he sounds good. He always sounds good, but I don't always want to listen to his version of his own song versus someone's cover sometimes because I find like the way he delivers lines sometimes isn't for me. Sometimes it is. It depends. And sometimes he's trying to stylize that way and sometimes he isn't. So like he's capable of it all. Like he's talented, but you know, depends. So that's why I like listening to a lot of covers. You know? It's just interesting to see. Listen to English covers of songs in other languages. I actually was never into that. I don't like listening to people interpret songs into English. That's just me. But you know what? I think it's because I usually don't like the writing of the lyrics. It's not that the idea of it is bad. It's more like whenever a cover artist writes a song in English, it's like, you know, originally Japanese and it's like an anime OP, right? And they write in English. It's 50-50 on if I like how they wrote the lyrics. I think there's some people that do well. The ones that do it well usually aren't the ones that are most watched. I think Alma's a good example. A lot of her old covers where she was like interpreting them, the lyrics were a bit better written. So like, I liked that. But then there would be other people that do the same thing and I'd be like, man, I just don't like the writing, you know? Like, they sound great. Everything about them sounds great. They did a great job, but the, like, the choice of words is not always that. Yeah, right. They cram the words in to match the rhythm. Yeah. It's hard. It's a hard thing, though. I don't blame them because it's such a difficult task. So it's not like I watch it and I'm like, ugh, do better. 'Cause sometimes I'm not sure that they could do better. You know what I mean? Like, so I prefer usually covers and songs in the original language, but at the same time, like, if you can do a good interpretation lyric wise of it, then it could be really nice. It just depends. That's why her covers are so good. She tries to match the original performance as much as possible. Yeah, she always did my favorite kind of version of that sort of thing. For sure. Ramstein did an English version of Du Hast and it's ass compared to the original. Honestly, something that bothers me is if you listen to a lot of K-pop, a lot of the time groups will do their songs in Japanese because Japan is a huge purchasing audience for music from Korea and China. So they'll do a Japanese version of a song, and it's not that the lyrics being different bothers me. They mix the voices differently. Sometimes they have a different producer mixing and mastering. So they take the original track that is mixed the way it's mixed, and then they'll have a different person working on mixing the JP version of the voices, and the mix sounds off. And that freaks me out. I hate that, which is also the case for covers sometimes. Sometimes the mixing like doesn't match the track too well, and that can throw it off even if their performance was like really good, you know? But yeah, Girls' Generation had a bunch of them. Well, because the thing is, like, especially with groups from that company, they have this internal team of producers that do all the vocal mixing that are really good and give them this specific sound that becomes signature to them. So then when you hear a song of theirs that someone else mixed the vocals on, it sounds wrong because you're always used to listening to them done a certain way, you know? So it's very, it's like hard to listen to it sometimes because it's just like the lyrics are fine, the language change is fine, the overall feeling in their performance is fine, but then the production is just off, and that always freaks me out. Always. Yeah, I get you, Batten. I am totally fine with it not being in a language that I understand. But I think for me, if you're gonna translate it over, you have to retain meaning. Or let's say you hold a long note on the end of a certain word, and that word is the most emotional word in the sentence. Okay, it makes sense. But when you translate it, don't write it in a way where the most emotional words are at the beginning of the sentence, and then the last word of the sentence is like, me too. And then you hold that out, but you're trying to sing it super emotionally, and it doesn't, like, you know, it doesn't match, like, the emotion that you're trying to hit at that part of the song with the word that you're singing. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff is, like, I think what makes translating stuff for covers really hard, because you have to make the sentence make sense. It has to match what the lyrics are trying to say. And then you also have to get the meaning hitting in the right parts of what you're singing. Otherwise, you can't sing that one part emotionally because it's no longer an emotional word. You know what I mean? So it's a really hard task to do that stuff right. And the people who do it right, like, it's so much work to get it to that point. Earlier this week during the off chill stream, when the if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands, yo, had me fold in half because I was not ready for it. Okay, but that's just part of that song. That's just part of that song. That's from the song Cherry Bomb. Dude. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands, yo. It's so like that shit always makes me laugh. But the people who say that are usually the English speakers in the group, so it's not even like they're speaking a foreign language. Like they speak English. They're native English speakers. And they get to say that line in the middle of a song that goes hard. It's so funny. That shit always gets me. Always. Anyway. Let's play a game. Let's play a game. Now. We have... Opening Steam. Guys, you don't get to to post wrap it up after I'm wrapping it up. You're not reminding me to wrap it up. You're only doing it because I said let's play a game, all right? That's not how that works. Wrong use case. Warp it up. We need to warp it up. Let me see. Okay, we have a few options. There is a part of me, and I'm going to be completely honest with you and myself, there is a part of me that just wants to open Dome Keeper and do more of the challenges. Okay. There's a part of me that's just like, fuck it, open Dome Keeper. I would have liked to continue Mon Bazoo, but it gave me motion sickness, so I think I'd rather just play it off stream. I would like to continue Cobblemon a bit, but we're gonna play so much of it that I'm like, I want to space it out. We're not playing TFT. We're not. We're not. Neo's getting closer. We could also pop open Neo 2. Dome Keeper or Neo 2, I think, are the two I'm kind of leaning toward. Or what about both? What about a little Dome Keeper and then a little Neo 2? Hightail? I could do Hightail. I feel like I already did the major stuff, though. Like, I really liked it. I think Hightail was really good for 6 hours. But then, like, what else is there to do? What else is there to do? There's nothing to do. The game doesn't have nuance to it yet. Because it's an early build. So I don't know if it makes sense for me to, like, play a fuck ton of it and beat it to death. Because I'm going to get tired of it. And I'm not currently, like, at the point where I'm super tired of it or anything. But I'm like, do I want to get myself there? Because then when they do release more stuff later, am I going to think back and be like, oh, you know what I mean? I know myself. So I'm trying to space myself a little bit. If a lot of people were on, then that's different. But, you know, I don't know. Let's do a poll. So, Neo 2 continued. Dome Keeper challenges. Cobblemon, we could always hop on Cobblemon, because I do have to train up. And what else? Is there anything else that I actually want to put on here? I think those are the only ones I want to put on here for now. Okay, we'll do a 1-minute poll. And we might do just one game today, maybe swap between two. We'll see. GEEGA Dulls stream would hit like crack in the 80s. It's been so long. It has been so long. I haven't done that or crosswords in forever. I've considered opening stream with just like doing that. Like check up news for the day and then do dulls and then play game. You know what I mean? Like just do damn segments or something. Do some damn segments. I've thought about it. But one of the reasons I didn't was because every time I would do it, I'd get like one person. It would literally just be one guy who would come in and be like, oh, what do you think you're NL? And after a while, I was just like, can I not do content that other people do? I don't know. And I was already backing away from the crosswords because when the crossword meta starts to get into your brain and you can start to guess words before even looking at the clue because you know the most frequent words that the crossword puzzle writer tends to put in, you know you got to back up a little, right? Like I had done so many crosswords through this one platform especially, to the point where I would eels, oars, there were certain like words that were just always in there, and I just started to see them before I even read the thing, and I was like, I gotta back up a little. So I've been giving myself some room, some time. I needed to give it a lot of time to get that out of my brain a little, and maybe the guy's meta has changed, so maybe we can return to it. But you know, I did so many that it's just crazy. Crossword Proceeding would go crazy. Yeah, I covered chat. When I would do the crossword puzzles, I would cover chat and just not even look. I would just do them and then look back and see what I missed. That was it, man. That was it. But okay. Dome Keeper hath won. Dome Keeper it is.